Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Crane, Chief Stakeholder Architect and CTO here at Envision IT. Today we're going to give you an introduction to the Citrix Secure Internet Access solution. We'll give you a brief overview of what that is, then also a demo. So let's go ahead and get started. So why do we need a solution like this? Well, our traditional legacy architectures, hub and spoke, really just do not work for what we're doing today. A lot of our data and applications have moved to cloud and SaaS-based applications. No longer are our users sitting in the office, directly connected to our LANs. Instead, they're very mobile, very remote. And then we're seeing threats like we have, at no time in the past. So it's really important that we take a solution that addresses all these. And not only that, it allows us to be agile, reinforces that remote work, and then also takes our security policies and gives us a tool to implement those across the board. Now, Gartner has they defined this, and it's called SIA or Secure Access Service Edge. And really, it's taking a lot of the great tools that we have around secure web gateway, which is a forward proxy and web filtering. Also CASB, which basically allows you some control over a SaaS service that you normally wouldn't have any control of at all. You can allow users to access those systems, yet still have control. Make things read only, or block content if you need as well. And then also zero trust network access. The ability to not just authenticate a user one time and then trust them going forward. Its ability to verify who they are, where they're coming from, where they're going, and then continuously just check that and validate that that's still a legitimate use. And then also it combines in our networking capabilities, which is SD-WAN and firewalls. Now, Citrix has a great approach to this, and they're one of the few vendors out there that really has this one approach with one tool set, one way to manage it, and it's pretty incredible. Today, we're going to focus on that top section, which is secure internet access, but also know there's the secure workspace access. There's all the great things with SD-WAN, and then wrap all that together is analytics. So we can take all this, and from one place we can monitor, we can alert, and take action. So that one component, which is a secure internet access, that's going to contain the secure web gateway, the cloud access broker, and then also some really great protections for malware and data loss prevention as well. And just to summarize, these are all the capabilities of SIA, and we're going to cover a few of these today. And so let's go ahead and jump into that demo. Okay, so here we have our web browser. This happens to be a Chrome browser, but SIA works with all the various browsers. This works with your traditional Windows endpoints. You can deploy this with endpoints that aren't Windows. Certainly, if you are into virtualized environments already, it'll work with those Citrix virtualized environments as well. And one of the things that we can do is we can validate that we are going through the SIA environment. And one of the ways that we can do that is we can just double check these public IP addresses that are associated with our SIA account. So if I just type in here, what's my IP address? So to the rest of the world, it looks like all my internet traffic is coming from this 138.43 address here. So let's just go ahead and validate that. And sure enough, that is one of the IP addresses assigned from us. So we know that we are going through the SIA system. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get started with basically content filtering. So let's say I'm work from home, I'm getting a little bit bored, and I'm big into gambling. So let's go hit some gambling sites. So 777 is a gambling site. As we can see, that was intercepted by SIA and blocked. And the reason that was blocked is we are blocking the category of gambling. So basically any gambling site, the system will block that. Now let's say we're going to have a fun work-related, poker event. So we want to utilize poker.com. So you would think that would be blocked, yet it's not. And the reason is you're actually given a lot of control over what is blocked and what isn't. So categories are great to broadly block content, but you have the control. So you can certainly use particular websites and allow them as well. Right, and then let's talk about more of that proxy type connection where we want to take a look at what users are doing, and if they're trying to utilize a SaaS application that isn't sanctioned by the organization, we can actually help that user out and maybe redirect them to where they should be going. So let's say I need to share a big presentation. I'm very familiar with a website called Mega.io. That's how I want to share this big file. So what we can do is we can actually detect the user is trying to go there and then gently redirect them over to share file, because that's what we use as an organization, and that's what you really should be using to share that as well. So that's a great way to help users out when they could potentially be doing something dangerous as well. One of the interesting things that we can do, instead of just redirecting to a particular website like we did with ShareFile, let's say a user is trying to do something privacy minded, and they're trying to go to DuckDuckGo. If you're familiar with that, that is a privacy based search engine. So one of the things that we can do is not necessarily just redirect them somewhere else, but we can actually, since that is a security minded site, we can actually spin up a secure browser from Citrix and send them over here. So if you see up here, um, this is actually a secure browser from Citrix. So now we do all of our searching, and when we're done with that, we can just go back to the previous page, and that secure browser session that wasn't on my own network, that was hosted by Citrix, and now when I close out of it, that session is destroyed, and anything with it is gone as well. So that's a great use for redirecting users maybe to a secure browser as well. And one of the things that we can do around content, and basically protecting users, is to do some content filtering. So let's go to youtube.com. And this could very well be, a Google search engine, Yahoo search engine. Again, it doesn't matter necessarily the browser. In this case, it was YouTube, and we did something pretty unique here. We not only took the user to YouTube, but we took them to our corporate channel, which is kind of nice. And when we're talking about content filtering, let's go ahead and just search for something inappropriate here. And again, this could be just a Google search engine or whatever the case may be, but look right up here. As administrators, we've actually enabled safe search. So we can kind of protect the user from doing something by mistake or intentionally, and basically filter the results as well. And again, we can do all this based on policy, and it works very, very well. Earlier, we talked about something called CASB, and again, that is where we can take a service that we don't have a lot of control of and basically inspect the content, see what the user is doing, and we can even do things like make it read only or completely block it. So let's say I want to go with LinkedIn. And based on users, you can control, maybe this is HR and they really do have to go to LinkedIn. They need to search for candidates. But let's just say I'm a regular user, use my work computer here, and I want to go search for another job. So let's go see what jobs are available for information technology. And again, SIA has detected that and blocked it. And with all of these, you notice up here, this is all secure. So this is all encrypted traffic, yet SIA is able to, in a single pass, inspect that traffic, take an action, and then re-encrypt it. So it's still secure. So not only this, but in any of these cases, rather than just being categories, we can also take very specific words. So if you want to block certain keywords, we can block or allow those as well. So a couple last things I want to show you real quick before we end. One is malware protection, and the other will be data loss prevention. So unfortunately, there's a ton of malware out there, and what Citrix has done with SIA is they have basically worked with the top 10 or more vendors and sources to basically inspect content and then block it as well. So we have a website we can go to, called eicar.org, if you're familiar with this. This is a website that allows us to safely test our malware protection. So I'm going to go ahead and download a malware file. We have some different ways of doing that. I'm going to go download this .com. So this is an executable. Go ahead and click on that. And once again, Citrix has detected that and blocked it, which is wonderful. So that's an example of tests. There's a lot of malware out there, and that's a good example of blocking that as well. So one of the last things I want to show you is basically the ability to in particular, let's say PII, data that really should not be going out over the internet. And this is a really neat site for doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some people's names, social security numbers, and their date of birth. Definitely information you do not want users maliciously or accidentally copying somewhere. So I go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to post this. And actually, just to make sure it's encrypted, I'll do the HTTPS post. And we can see we have our little lock here, so it's encrypted. It's interesting to note most traditional firewalls would have no idea. They cannot see this encrypted traffic, so this would slip right past. But let's see if SIA can detect that. And sure enough, and you're given control of this, of what you're inspecting for, how much of that data. So a lot of controls for you there as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. This is a nice summary of all the capabilities that SIA can do. If you want to deep dive into any of this or see the console, certainly reach out and we can show you that as well. So thanks for your time today.